fact, this is the most unorganized I've been for a market ever. I did make a little boy cry.
Scraps of yarn and lost time, fabric flows from chaos supply.
Hi and welcome to this week's market vlog and market results video. If you're new here, I'm Lisa and this is my channel, What Lisa Crochets. This is where I share all my crochet creations with you, and I share my markets, my stocking, my consignment space, and just anything that I'm working on. Looking to grow my skills because I'm a beginner crocheter. I've been crocheting for about 12 months now. So this is going to be a little market vlog, so let's get to it. So if you're new here, you may not know this, but if you're a regular watcher, you will know this. So please just forgive me for going over this again. But I live in a very rural location. I only have about 700 people in the town where I live, and it's very small and isolated. I go to the next town over for my markets, and that's also a very small town but bigger than mine, and they have around 2,000 to 3,000 people that live there. So the markets that I participate in are a community market, and they're quite small, and it's just about being part of the community and also getting to sell some of my crochet work. And what I hope from each market is just to sell a little bit of my stuff so that it's not piling up at home, and also to just keep myself stocked in yarn. So I'm happy with whatever I sell at the market, and it has been a fantastic way to be connected to the community, and I've really enjoyed it. This is actually my last market there before I move. I'm about to go on a big move interstate, so some of the things that I have in there I have marked down because I wanted to move them on. I don't want to be I wanted to sell as much as I could and not be taking it with me. And also some of the Easter stuff I kept quite reasonable, I think, because I did want to hopefully sell them. Going into this market, it was my first time doing an Easter market, so I was a little bit unsure on how the Easter items would do. I didn't know if there would be a big demand for them or not. On other occasions, like at Christmas time, I found that there wasn't a big demand for like Christmas themed things, but I did want to give the Easter themed things a go because unlike Christmas things, Easter things can be sold at any time of year. People will still be interested in chicks, in rabbits, you know, all those things I can still keep on my table year round if I wish. So it's a little bit of, you know, a little low risk season to invest in when you're doing that stock, unlike Christmas, which really, you know, Santas are only good at in December, November. After that, nobody wants Santas anymore. So anyway, first Easter market, and I'm not really sure what to expect from it, but I did bring some stock and make some things anyway to see how that would go. So another thing is that I'm located in Australia, so all of the things are in Australian prices, so that can make a difference to where you are. I try my best to keep my prices accurate, but I can always do better, I guess. And at the moment, I'm probably pricing more on the lower side because, as I mentioned, I really do want to not be taking a whole ton of stuff with me in the move. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe some people may think my prices are too high. I don't know. It's always a lot of personal discretion and knowing the area that you're in when it comes to pricing things. So, yeah, we just always do our best we can of trying to be as accurate as we can with things. So anyway, let's cut to this week's vlog, and I will see you on the other side when we go through everything that's sold. Good morning. It's the morning of the market and it's been a little bit hectic. I didn't really get as organized as I wanted to this week. In fact, this is the most unorganized I've been for a market ever. I was still making a few things last night, and I only got up this morning and packed the bags, and normally I have them done the night before, and I haven't written price tags out for everything, but we'll do that when we get there. I have a lot of the other ones that are reusable, so I'm not too worried. There's only like a certain amount of new products I have to write tags for, so we'll see how we go. We're about to drive over. It's 8:20 and the market starts I think at 10:30. We've got an hour drive ahead of us, so yeah, we better get on the road. All right, I'll see you at the market. Bye. So we've made it to the markets and it is 9:15 and we're going to unload and start to set up. I've just popped out. It's a quarter past 12 and we've been here a couple of hours. We've sold about 11 items, so it's not been too bad. A little bit quieter, but still a bit of time to go, so we'll see how we go in the last 2 hours. Hi guys, I'm back from the market and I survived. No, it was a really good market, and I still have plenty of energy left today, which is really good. Sometimes I'm a bit wiped out by the end of a market, but I'm feeling pretty good, even though I did not sleep much last night. I just couldn't sleep. I was up to about like 3 o'clock in the morning, and then I saw the daylight savings switch back, so the clock went back to 2, which I was quite happy about because I was like dreading that I was going to be up early as well. So yeah, I've had barely any sleep last night, but yeah, surviving okay. Had a few coffees at the market. It was really nice having my hubby there with me because we could leave the stall and have somebody in there. Last year he had his own stall there and we were both kind of tied to our stalls, so that was really nice not to have to worry if you need to go to the loo or something. Yeah, I got this beanie when I was there. There was another crochet vendor who was situated right next to my table, and her table was a lot of beanies, hats and bags, whereas mine was more plushies. And I saw this hat and it was only $12. So I had to get one and support her little crochet business too. And it actually turns out that I actually know her. She used to be a relief teacher at my primary school when I was little. So that was really cool. Once we got talking, we figured that out. And yeah, it was nice to catch up with her. She remembered me. I've kind of remembered her, but she really remembered quite well. I'm not so good with remembering a lot from primary school, so I felt bad that I didn't remember a lot, but she could. So it was nice catching up with her and seeing all the things that she has in her market stall, and yeah, it was a good day. I'm going to have a bit of a relax, and then I'll check in with you tomorrow when I get my square report in, with how much I made on that and how much fees have been taken out, so I can give you a bit of a rundown of how the market went and what sold and what didn't. Yeah, but a good market. I'm really happy. All right, see you tomorrow. As you can see, I was really happy with how the market went. One of the things that really made me feel quite happy was that last month I wasn't able to attend the market due to health reasons, and so this market I just was noticing the difference in my body and how I was able to cope with things better, and just getting to participate was like such a big thing for me. I could really tell how much better I was feeling in myself compared to a month before, so that was one of the reasons why I was feeling so good as well. Towards the end of the night, I probably was running a bit on adrenaline, and I did have a bit of a come down afterwards. But anyway, it was a great market for me. I loved getting to see people. I got to see, there was a little boy who used to come to my stall, and he's bought a couple of things, and before Christmas, his mum came and she snuck away from the family, and she came back to the store, and I had these little monkeys for sale, and she wanted to buy him one because he had been obsessed with monkeys, and she snuck it, and we wrapped it up, and she took it out to the car and took it, and she was just really excited because she knew how much he would love it. And so I got to catch up with her, and she said, like, they, on Christmas Day, they opened all the other presents first, and at the end they brought out this one last parcel for him, and he was kind of like, oh, what's this? Because he'd got so many things off his list, he wasn't really expecting something else. And then he just absolutely lost his mind when he saw it was the monkey, and absolutely loved it. So that was so lovely to hear. So I was so happy to hear, how much that meant to him. Yeah, and I had just a few other people came up to me. There was another lady who I'd made this kind of like weighted Kindle stand, and she bought it before Christmas, and she's using it as a doorstop because it's lovely and weighted. And so she was really excited to tell me that she's, how much she was loving that. So it's a really nice way to connect with people, and I have some regular girls that come and buy stuff, and just like getting to chat with them, and they love seeing what's new. So that's always really exciting to see. But I did make a little boy cry. It was kind of a good cry. There was a little boy there, and I've met him a couple of times, and he's really lovely, and he just, whenever he comes over, he loves to see things, and he says all these, he's always gushing and giving all these compliments. He says, oh, you're so creative, oh, you're so lovely, and he chats away, and he's just the most gorgeous, like, oh, you want to like hug him. He's so sweet. And he's a little bit eccentric too. I can't really explain him. He's just this really intelligent, lots of energy, but also sweet little boy. And he came over to the stall and was like looking at things, and he kept coming back to the fish in the fish bowl and looking at those. He didn't end up buying anything, but he has bought things off me in the past. But he was just enjoying looking at things, and we just had a little chat and things, and then he went off. And then later I was speaking to his mum and chatting with her, and then they had a little stall there where they were selling Play-Doh, and that was part of like his homeschooling and getting to learn about numeracy and all that sort of stuff. And at the end of the market, I thought, oh, I don't need all this stuff. I might see if he wants to take the fish in the little container home with him. So I took it over and I offered it to him, and he said, oh, no, thank you. And then I was like, oh, that's okay. You don't have to take it. And then his mum's like, no, he'll take it. And so then he started to cry because he thought he'd been rude to me. I was like, no, mate, that's okay. Like, you can say no. You don't have to take it. And then he kind of went off with his dad to calm down. And his mum's like, oh, no, he really would like it. And she said, like, he has trouble making his mind up about things. And she said he would have got upset about something later. Like, it was just a big overstimulating day for him. And that, you know, if it wasn't this, it would have been that he would have got upset later because he hadn't bought anything because he couldn't decide on what he wanted. So I was like, oh, okay. And I kind of said, like, you know, if he doesn't want it, you could just gift it to someone else. I'm okay with that. Like, and she thought it was such a lovely gesture. She was so thankful for it. And I explained to her, she wanted to pay me for it. And I was like, no. Like, I'm moving away, and I want to, you know, I can't take all this stuff with me. And I just thought he might like that. And, you know, it's not a big cost or anything like that. And so, you know, she was going to barter with me with some Play-Doh, but I don't have kids. So I was just like, no, just have it. And so she was going to explain to him that, you know, that I'm moving and that this is my last market and that's why I'm giving some things away. And when I went back and started packing up my store, and then I heard the most like horrendous wail and crying and sobbing his heart out. So when she told him it was our last market, he cried and cried. It was horrible. So my little gesture of kindness really backfired on me. And this poor little overstimulated boy just kind of could not cope with all this information, and I felt terrible. But I know that you know, his mum was thankful for it and appreciated the kindness, and that it wasn't really about you know, what was happening with me or the gift. It was more about like just coping with things that were different and having such a big day already and all the noise and stimulation and everything like that. But I did feel a little bit bad that he was so sad, and that was not what I intended. So anyway, things like that happen. Kids are unpredictable, and you know, you just got to roll with it. Okay, so I'll get to the breakdown of what I sold. So the first thing that we sold was actually the order for the Tassie Tiger, and I'll put some photos up of that because I didn't actually get to show you all what it looked like finished. And that was such a pain to make. Making, like, doing those tiny little legs and the tail and the color changes, but I think it turned out really, really well. And that was for another vendor at the market who'd ordered that. And I kept the price low on that. I probably would normally I wouldn't even make that, to be honest, because of how fiddly it is, but probably I would have marked it at 40, but yeah, I decided to keep it at 35 just because I didn't want her to then like not take it or whatever. So, and being another vendor, I just wanted to keep it a little bit low. So yeah, I sold that for 35. We also had this little Tank the Turtle ordered. The person did not turn up for it, and that was a bit of a shame. My husband felt really bad because he took that order at the last market and he didn't get a name or a phone number. And, you know, I made it special for them after getting rid of all the last stock. Having to make another one up and then not turning up was a bit frustrating. But in the Patty and Bengo's Place yarn, it turned out really lovely. I actually really would like to make more in this. And I'll just keep that for future stock. And I just said, you know, you live and learn, you know, like he was doing his best at my stall, manning it last week. So it's not a big deal. It will sell again at a future market. So it's not the end of the world. Yeah. But just thought I'd update you on that one. That one did not go because they didn't turn up. In case you're somebody who's been watching the vlogs. Okay, so we had the Tassie Tiger, then we had a bunny in the egg, so that was a Cluck and Buzz pattern. And that was I sold that for $15. Probably a bit cheap again, but anyway. And then I sold one of the dinos that were on the sale table. I'm not sure about the pattern for that, but I will stick it on there somewhere. And then we had one of these bunnies for $20. And then I had this cat for $20, and that was one of the sale items. I was really glad to get rid of that because I made it last year and I was trying a different yarn and I hated the yarn it was in, and it didn't keep the structure very well. I normally make my loaf cats in blanket yarn, and I was trying this one to see if I liked it, and I didn't. So, but it was good to get rid of it, and they were happy with it. So there was nothing wrong with it. It's just not my preferred way for the pattern to come out. So yeah. And then I sold a bun peas as well for $20. And then I sold the large bunny in the blue overalls for $45. So we've got the pink one left, and that's going to the consignment space next week. And then I sold one of the chicks for $20. Then I sold two of these small chicks in the nest for $10, $5 each. And then I sold one in the larger size for $10. Then I sold the snake, and that was for $10, and I was really happy to see that one go. I'm not sure if I'll be doing snakes again in the future. We'll just have to wait and see. They haven't been the best sellers for me, but mind you, the two snakes that I have tried to sell really weren't the best specimens. So we'll see how I go with those in the future. Then I sold another chick. And I sold another bun peas for $20. And then I made this one little goblin, and I sold him for $15. And another little chick for $5. And this caterpillar for $20. So in total, I sold 19 items. The best seller was actually this little chick, the little chicks in the nest, which is just like my own little made up pattern. If you remember from my vlogs, I sell these ones usually, and they normally do pretty well. And I thought when I made these ones, I thought that these would be way cuter, and I was correct. I sold none of these ones at the market and a whole ton of these ones. And I actually gave a couple away of these ones too. So I think in total I might have sold 5 of these little ones. Yep, 5 little ones. And then the next bestseller was the bun peas. We're selling 2 of those. So a lot of the other stuff was just single items sold. So the bun peas were a real hit with those teenage girls that like to come into my stall and buy multiple items. So I'm glad that I made those ones up. I thought they would be popular, and I feel like they will still be popular after Easter too. So in total, in cash, I took $205, and in square, I took $90. So that came to a total of $295. And then the square fees were $1.44. So that came to a total of $293.56. And then my table fee was $15. So that made the total for the day $278.56. So it was a fairly average kind of market, but I'm still really happy with that. you know, I do this market once a month, and I'm regularly making that amount of money each time I go. So that I'm really happy with that. So yeah, I felt like it was a pretty good market, and I'm happy with those results. The Easter stuff really wasn't as big a hit as I had hoped, but it was still worth taking it along, and I did sell multiple of the Easter things while I was there. In fact, probably most of the stuff sold was Easter things. Give me a moment. So 11 of the 19 items were Easter items that sold. So it was worth bringing the Easter stuff along, actually. So there you go. Maybe it was more of a success than I thought. Maybe because I wasn't selling multiple of each item. That's probably why I was like, oh, the Easter stuff didn't do so well. But like, it was over half of the stuff that I sold was Easter stuff. So I would say actually it was worth the bringing along. Yeah, so I would say I'm happy with that for my area and my markets. That was a successful market. So that will be my last market for a while, guys. I'm really sad about that. I had such an amazing experience there. The organisers were so friendly and nice, and the other vendors were lovely, and it was a nice way to connect with the community. And I had some lovely people who were constantly, you know, supporting my stall. And, you know, it was just a great experience for me. I felt like I always had a good time there, and I will be sad to not be at that little market anymore, but you know, new things are on the horizon. So if you enjoyed market videos, please stay tuned, because there will be more to come in the future. I will be having a little bit of a break, but I will get back into them. I've enjoyed them a lot, and I feel like I'll have some new markets to scout out once I move to my new location, and there will be a lot of market prep in the build up to any markets over there. I don't want to be doing what I did when I first initially jumped into markets, which was trying to build my stock up in a short period of time. That was very tiring. So I do want to give myself more of a space once I get set up to get the stock ready before I jump back into markets. So there will be a break, but I'll continue to share all my crochet creations with you. We'll still have consignment stock to make, and I'll just be sharing whatever I'm making with you, and who knows what other content I might create without the market. So stay tuned. If you've liked this, please give the channel a like and subscribe if you're not subscribed. I really appreciate that. And say hi to me down in the comments. I love hearing from everybody. Let me know if you've been working on something, or if you're working your way up to a market, if you're working on stock or prepping when you're watching this. Yeah, happy crocheting. Bye.